What happened to yearning? What happened to men that pursue? What happened to men being confident enough to make the first move? I feel like our generation is just so whacked out. Like we're just all messed up. And I think with the phones, we're just so antisocial and just everything is just out of sorts and it's not how it used to be. And I think it's a real shame that like the art of dating and like yearning and pursuing is just dead. Like I watch shows like Bridgerton, I'm like, oh my God, we will never have that again. It's just gonna get worse. And it's actually so sad. Especially dating apps have just ruined it all.
My research shows that we are undoubtedly in a boyfriend recession because why are all my friends staying with their boyfriends who are like, not bad, but in a 2-3-year-old boyfriend economy, these would have been situationships. And yet, buy low, sell high is what I always say.
Everyone's always asking, what's your favorite recession indicator? Mine is probably how I still don't have a boyfriend. At this point, it is the economy's fault.
It is a numbers game, and I have to go on more dates in order to meet somebody. That is how I'm going to meet somebody. I need to remind myself of this, but it's hard. We all hit those roadblocks where we're like, I just can't keep doing this. But literally, if we're going to meet somebody, we have to keep doing this. I'm going to go on more dates. I'll let you know how it goes.
We are absolutely living in a relationship recession right now. Yeah. And what I mean by that is loneliness rates are up, depression rates are up, singlehood rates are up, marriage rates are down, birth rates are down. And that is not, by the way, that's not a coincidence. That's a correlation. And a lot of it, I think, can be attributed to the fact that while we are more interconnected than ever before, thanks to tools like social media and dating apps, we're actually a lot more disconnected. And a lot of people, I predict, are going to turn to robo-romances. They're going to inadvertently try to replace those real-world connections that they don't have with online ones and, cultivate friendships with GPTs and even romantic relationships with robots. And I worry because I think so much of life is about people, and you don't die with your money and you don't die with your followers, you die with your memories. And it's important, I think, that people seek out actual friendships and cultivate hobbies and get involved in their community and nourish real relationships that will actually fulfill them in life. So yeah, it's a real thing and not a lot of people talk about it, but we are going to see a lot more of it.
The Financial Times slapped a name on it, the relationship recession, and the data's global, not just a Western tantrum with good lighting. From the US to Finland to South Korea to Thailand, couples are forming less and shattering more. In Finland, live-in couples now break up more often than they manage to have a kid. This isn't a dry spell she can wait out with a face mask and a podcast. It's a structural collapse, and she's standing in the rubble asking who stole the building. If you enjoy watching a global macroeconomic trend get mistaken for a personal betrayal, subscribe. We read the FT so you don't have to drown in the footnotes with her.
Okay, so recently I had to report on the sex recession for Slicks for All. And coincidentally, I also went on my first date in a long time. And it's kind of like one of many examples of why people are having less sex. So obviously there's the statistics about screen time and just people not making the first move, yada yada. The guy who asked me on a date, he, asked me out, made plans right away. It was going good. We were very clearly attracted to each other, same humor, very similar outdoor sports. Like, I really was into this person. Like, I was pretty stoked. But something I was noticing after the first, second, couple times we hung out, before the third time, I was like, told my friend, I was like, I don't feel like he's like actively trying to get to know me. Like we were having fun conversations and stuff, but I didn't feel like he was very inquisitive, like trying to understand, like learn me. Like I would tell him things. I feel like I was volunteering a lot of information, but like I feel like my nail tech and my hairstylist and my wonderful guy friends are more engaged in trying to get to know me more than this man was who asked me on a date. So despite all the other good feelings and stuff, I was like, I just didn't feel seen yet. And I was like, maybe it'll take more time with him. I don't know. Anyways, on like the second, third, fourth date or whatever, basically the last 2 dates, we started making out. And the kissing, chemistry, all that stuff was great. Also, this is like crazy. Like, I feel like I don't like kiss and tell like this, but this feels pretty anonymous and it's harmless. Everything was great, but like I just wasn't ready to do more. And it's not because I have any rules, hard or fast rules about I'm not gonna have sex until this date or whatever. It's just I need a feeling. Like I need to feel safe. I need to feel seen. Like that's just like what I need at this point in my life in order for me to feel like I want to, sleep with someone. and I just wasn't feeling that yet. And so, like, I kind of politely curbed, like, oh, I'm not ready to do more, like, whatever. And even though he was still, like, nice about it, he kind of felt the need to say why he didn't think it was a big deal. He was like, I just feel like having sex is part of getting to know someone, which, sure, valid, I guess. But also he said something like, I just want to get it over with. I like to just get it over with in the beginning. I think that if we just want to do it, we should do it. He said something too, he's like, I think when people try to wait, I think that they like each other, but they really don't. Or like, he just kind of said things in response to me just not being ready that he didn't need to say. He could have just said, okay, that's fine. But instead really felt the need to explain why he felt like it shouldn't be a big deal. Which just like gave me a lady boner killer. But of course, in good old me fashion, I still like went on the most recent date with him. And it happened again, like we were kind of hooking up, but I didn't want to take it further because, again, I wasn't feeling like that engagement with him. Like, I just didn't feel like there was a lot of attraction, but it's like there wasn't as much depth. So, yeah, after that last time, it was just like, this isn't, I shouldn't, as a 31-year-old woman, I shouldn't have to explain to a man why I'm not ready to have sex with him yet, especially when it's only been a week and a half. So, yeah, I don't know, we could add that to the data of why there's a sex recession, because I would just rather not have sex than to have sex with someone who doesn't think it's a big deal to have sex with me without getting to know me first. So, there's that.
Dating might actually be going extinct, and here's the reason why. We're all tired, we're all poor, we're either focusing ourselves or either healing. I'm familiar with the cycle. You go to work, you work hard, you go home, you work hard, you go out with your friends, you work hard, you're constantly working hard, you become burnt out, and then you withdraw. You go inwards, and then you start focusing on yourself. And then you realize how much lighter and easier life is when all you have to do is focus on yourself. So of course you lose the desire to date, but the thing is, humans weren't designed to live in isolation. Here's the fix. Find a balance that works for you between your work, your life, your family, your finances. Be purposeful with who you spend your energy on and who you're dating. And forget the expectations, but maintain your standards.
The hard numbers are merciless and refuse to flatter anyone. The 2026 State of Our Unions surveyed over 5,000 young adults and found only 1 in 3 is actively dating, and nearly 3/4 of women hadn't been on a real date all year. The dating scene didn't get more competitive. It got abandoned, like a mall where every anchor store pulled out and left one sad fountain running for the echo.
Good morning. I'm not just trying to cry on TikTok. I need your help. I woke up nonstop crying about my ex, missing him so much. And I'm overwhelmed that I will always feel this way or that this person will always cross my mind. Again, I'm trying to not just cry on this app, but I don't have health insurance at the moment, so I don't have a therapist. I have friends who've been really great. I just don't know how to get through today. How do you get through where your brain just can't stop thinking about them?
Recently, I've been hearing a lot of buzz around the 2019 Morgan Stanley study that predicts 45% of women between the ages of 25 to 44 will be single and childless by 2030. We're at 41% in 2018, so it's expected that more and more women will be single and childless as the years roll on. I was first introduced to this data last week via TikTok. I wish I had the original video, but I scrolled past it quickly in a panic. My first reaction was, wow, I'm gonna be single forever. I kind of felt bad for myself for a second. I thought, such a shame. What a sad, companionless life I'll live. When I actually began imagining myself alone in my 30s, I was struck with an overwhelming sense of relief. I can stop putting so much pressure on myself to figure out my career today, right now. I can stop telling myself I'm a lazy piece of shit for not having everything, my career, a relationship, a plan figured out today, right now. According to Morgan, I got no kids to worry about for a minute. As long as I can afford to go on the seemingly few bachelorette trips to Mexico that are going to happen, I'm Gucci. I can stop putting so much pressure on myself to make a lot of money, travel the world, and do everything I want to do in the next 3 years before I turn 30. What it sounds like Morgan is trying to tell us is that the girls are going to be having Dua Lipa summers for the next solid decade. What is a Dua Lipa summer, you ask? Okay, you know how Dua Lipa is always on vacation? She's with a big group of friends, other hot girls, seemingly some gays, seemingly some straight guys. Everyone's stylish, wearing one-of-a-kind string bikinis paired with rock-hard abs. They make delicious home-cooked meals at their shared estate, smoke cigarettes by the pool, and have moonlit photo shoots. That's gonna be us. Maybe not right now. Maybe not this summer. Maybe not even next summer. But we're gonna stack our bread. Save up for that stud bag in the vintage Chanel sunglasses and the blue marine sheer dress. I might be single and childless, but I will be the best dressed at the handful of friends' weddings. Invite me. I'll be the Dua Lipa of honor. The Google AI overview revealed to me that no, Morgan Stanley is not actually a person. Morgan Stanley was started by Henry Morgan, JP's grandson, the JP, and Harold Stanley, some other guy. So while I can't thank Morgan for giving me this peace of mind, I can thank finance as a whole for bringing us something new to aspire to. The many single and childless Dua Lipa summers ahead.
The men who left describe it with the eerie calm of a guy who closed a losing position before the margin call. They ran the cost-benefit, the expense, the apps, the legal landmines, the vanishing return, and quietly liquidated the whole portfolio. No manifesto, no picket sign, no group announcement. Just a generation of men individually reaching the identical verdict in their own apartments, which is exactly why nobody can argue them out of it. There's no head office to storm.
Listen, to all you women out there that's on social media crying about not being able to find a good man, asking where are all the good men, saying shit like there are no good men left or men in this generation ain't shit, and you 35, 40 years old now with 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Let me refresh your fucking memory. About 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, that good guy that you're looking for now, that provider, that protector, he came into your life. Maybe more than once. Maybe on 3 or 4 different occasions. That man came into your life, but you cheated on him. Yeah, you remember that shit? You betrayed him. You lied to him. All right? He asked you out on a date. You agreed and you stood him up. You remember that shit? That man came into your life. That opportunity, that chance has came and left. That ship has left the dock and sunk, baby. You 40 years old with 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. You frustrated because you doing all this shit on your own because of you. Your fault. You got to live with this shit. So don't get on social media screaming to the top of your lungs, expressing your fucking frustration about how you can't find a good man. That man came. You fucked it up, baby.
The reports wring their hands over a confidence collapse. Barely a third of young adults feel comfortable approaching someone they like. But for men, the low confidence label buries the murder weapon. A man trained for 20 years that his approach is creepy, his interest is harassment, and his attention is a microaggression didn't lose his nerve. He aced the class. He just stopped raising his hand in a room that handed out detention for participation.
I read an article today that said 30% of people in my age group, and I'm 40, oh my god, I'm forgetting, 43, turning 44 in June, that 30% of the people are not dating. And so that's probably why. Teenagers.
Okay, I just got back from the gym and I was just having thoughts again. And I'm gonna try and make this brief this time. I've recorded this twice, and guys, I just yap. See, I'm yapping right now. But essentially, the thoughts revolve around dating apps. And the overarching theme, delete the dating apps, please. To start off, it's a self-confidence issue, right? And I know that this is awful to say, but getting likes and being shown people who are clearly, below your league will give you self-confidence issues. It really will, okay? And vice versa, not getting any matches at all or not getting any likes at all, that is also a self-confidence issue that I feel like people shouldn't have to go through. And for me personally, the only time I ever download dating apps is when I feel lonely. Okay? And this last time I downloaded it back in I think July or something, when I was moving back home to my parents' place after graduating from my master's program. And I was like in distress because I was like, I barely have friends there. I don't have a boyfriend. Like, what am I gonna do? I was just so lonely. And not only did it make me feel worse, because dating apps don't fix your loneliness. It's like a band-aid. It will not fix it. And it honestly might make you feel worse. It's just awful. It's really awful. And so not only did it make me feel worse, it also ended awful, like in an awful manner. Spent so much time on this dude who literally got me to trust him when I have so many trust issues with men. And he just completely discarded me so easily, which is like ridiculous in and of itself. So wasted my time, made me feel even worse, okay? And ever since then, this like ended back in November, so it's not even that long ago, okay? It's been like 2 months. I just decided that that was my final straw, and I will just not be doing that anymore. And that kind of leads into my next point. Like, there comes a time when you just have to admit to yourself, I deserve better than this, okay? The quote, we accept the love that we think we deserve, it's so corny, but it's so true, okay? If you think that your soulmate is on Hinge, is on Tinder, is on Bumble, then stay on the apps, okay? But I can guarantee that they're probably not. And it works for some people, but for the vast majority, it really doesn't. And it's awful. It's really awful, and you just have to realize, that you deserve better. You really do, okay? I deserve better. Everyone deserves better at this point. Because at the end of the day, dating apps have developed this idea of the possibility of maybe or the possibility of better. And like, so you're swiping and like you might be talking to someone, but then they go ghost. And that's potentially because they think that they have found better. And the possibility of swiping and finding someone better than the people that you're talking to right now is a real issue, and it's very scary to see the effects that it has had in relationships in our generation. And yeah, you just like really have to set your foot down like I did and be like, you deserve better. And there are billions of people on the planet. You just have to go outside. Like, and I know that is scary and it's very easier said than done, but it's the truth. How do you think people have found relationships in the past? They go outside. They go to the gym. They go to coffee shops. They go to the library. If you're in college or school, they meet in school and in class. They meet in after-school clubs or organizations. They meet at the club, okay, which I know is hit or miss. But still, like, you have to go outside and you have to put yourself out there. That is legitimately the only way that you will meet someone, unfortunately. It really is. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Delete the dating apps.
The apps make a tidy scapegoat, and sure, they earned a slice, but they're the symptom cosplaying as the disease. The apps turned courtship into a casino where the top sliver of men rake in all the attention and everyone else gets shoveled into the void. The house rigged the felt. She's furious at the slot machine. The men just calmly walked out of the casino, pockets intact, and never tipped the dealer goodbye.
I'm 47, single, divorced more than once. Just trying to see if I can find my person.
Am I the only person, like, completely struggling? Am I the only one? Because I've been single a very long time.
Being alone, having no one there to talk to as you age, no kids.
I want to be a boss. I want to be independent. I don't need a man. I can do this all on my own. I just found out today that my ex-husband is engaged and I'm unwell.
These women are so desperate to find their true loves while also ignoring that they threw out multiple perfectly good dudes in their lives. Something isn't adding up here.
How much are they? So a robot like Melody is $150,000, and that's fully AI capable and customized. But we can actually make the robot look like anything you want. So you can come to us and say, we would like to give us a picture of someone, and we can make that robot customized to you, and we can customize the AI so that it knows exactly what you want it to know. So it can learn about your company, it can learn about your product, okay, or it can be your girlfriend.
Are we going to be like, this is my God, this is my family member?
Well, you could. We always say you can take our robots as a date to a wedding.
Imagine a guy gets with one of these AI robots and makes it his girlfriend. Does that mean that he's going to bring it to family events like holidays and dinners? I'm sure those family get-togethers would be insanely interesting to watch.
We have this here on display for people to touch, so you can give that a feel and see how that feels. These faces are all modular, so we could actually take the faces off Melody and Aria, throw this one on top. It's all magnetized or special technology. Press a button, and then you have a different robotic character. This allows us to provide flexibility for our clients. If they change their minds and they want a different character, we can design a different face for them, and then they can add that on very easily.
Are they easy to swap? How long does it take to swap?
It takes about 10 seconds. You just peel it off and then put the other one on. It's our patented system with magnets.
What's funny is how there will be so many dudes who will want to customize their AI robots to look and sound like some celebrity crush, which means that there will be endless celebrity robot clones walking around the world.
Art was wild. Wait till you hear about the Psy brothels in Berlin, where men are literally lining up to sleep with robots. Yep, robots. This isn't an episode of Black Mirror. It's happening right now, and it's a terrifying glimpse into the future. In Berlin, actual establishments called Psy brothels are opening their doors, offering men companionship with AI-powered, anatomically correct dolls.
He's acting disgusted, but let's be real, guys. Women have been using devices and other things in the bedroom for literally ages now. But the second a man does something artificial, it's gross and unnatural. Hilarious.
They don't speak, they don't argue, they don't have needs. They're just cold, programmable, and built to serve on demand. Let that sink in. For 80 to 120 euros an hour, you can rent a...
And now the competition isn't even another woman. It's a piece of software that doesn't order the surf and turf. Men increasingly find a frictionless AI companion preferable to a dating market that treats them like a credit check with a pulse. The chatbot doesn't test him, doesn't ghost him, doesn't keep a running tally of his crimes. When a man would rather confide in a language model than re-enter the arena, the bar wasn't just low. The market handed it a shovel and pointed down.
No one is talking about the clear recession indicator that is men trying to have a phone call as a first date. Chivalry is not dead, ladies. It is bankrupt. 3 men from the dating apps have asked me if I'd like to do a phone call to catch a vibe. I guess they're trying to screen to make sure I'm not crazy. Guess what? I am crazy, but I'm not going to let you know that until after we sleep together. So how about you buy me an $8 cup of coffee so we can get this show on the road?
So am I the only one who absolutely hates being single? Because I've been single for a year now, and it sucks. I'm not for the streets. I'm wife material. I'm not. This isn't fun. I don't like it.
Where do you find men? That is the number one question I receive on a daily basis by single women ever since I started sharing my single life or my dating life or etc.
Like, a lot of men just don't talk to me. They'll stare at me, right? They'll think of me, but they don't talk to me. They don't fucking approach me.
I've given up talking to women. I think the stat is 45% of men ages 18 to 25 have never asked a girl out in person.
Where are the men? Who is holding them hostage? Please set them free. I am begging you.
This is what happens when you spend a decade punishing men for being men. Women told men to leave them alone, and men said, okay. Now suddenly it's, where are the men? Why won't they approach? Ladies, you just got exactly what you asked for.
I have never been, in my adult life, as chronically single as...
Acceptance, when it finally lands, is the grim recognition that this isn't weather, it's climate. The recession won't thaw on her personal timeline because it was never about her in particular. The men recalculated en masse, found vastly better uses for their time and money, and built lives that don't require re-entering a market still running on the old, gloriously lopsided rules. You can't wait out a season that turned out to be an ice age.
Okay, what's the issue with dating right now? I feel like what I'm seeing is that no one follows through. And I know that this is something that me and my friends are all experiencing. It's gotten to the point where if a guy asks me on a date and then the date actually happens, I'm shocked. Like, the norm now, I feel like, is it's just nothing's actually gonna happen. Or like you'll be texting someone, talking with them every couple of days. And it's hard because I feel like you have to show that you're interested in order for something to happen, but you also have to act like you don't care. And then nothing ends up happening because I do care and I want to go out and nothing happens. Or a date is planned, but then they bail or they just ghost you and they don't follow through. I know everyone wants to be dating and like I know everyone is victim to this. Like everyone wants for things to work out, but then no one's like really putting in the effort for it to happen. And whenever I see a girl with her boyfriend out and about, where'd you get that? Like how did you do that? Peter, how are you doing that? Anyway, I'm just gonna keep trying, keep putting my best foot forward, but follow through is really lacking these days.
A recession is just a market violently correcting an overvaluation, and dating's no exception. The men who opted out weren't bitter. They were rational investors fleeing a rigged exchange. Build a life that doesn't hinge on that market ever recovering. Your health, your work, your brotherhood, your peace. Self-sufficiency is the only recession-proof asset there is. Subscribe to Alpha Reloaded for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit that like button on your way out. See you next time.